Tuesday. Yeah. I'd like to say thanks for everybody to come out in this fresh Tuesday morning. Like I said, this is a North Northamptonshire Business Tools for Business Success webinar. It's hybrid. We will be recording this, as you've probably just heard. So it will be put on the website for use, so you can look at it later. I would just like to introduce our main speaker, Richard Liverman of Richard Solutions. And just a quick one on any Q&A that will be organised at the end. If you're online, if I could ask you to put your questions on the online chat, which you can see from Zoom, and then we will answer them at the end. But without further ado, Richard, welcome. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Brian.
Cheers.
Good to see you.
Yeah, and you, sir.
Morning, everybody, offline and online. I'm Richard from Richard Solutions, and we're going to be talking to you today. Let me just set this up here. Thanks, Brian. I'm Richard from Richard Solutions, and here are my contact details. Now, what I'd like everybody to do, because I love networking, and I think it's great, we have an expression on one of my networking groups, which is a rising tide lifts all ships. So if you'd like to, go onto the chat on the video, and people here will swap business cards or alike. But please network, go talk to people. This is how we lift each other up. Please give me a follow on Instagram or LinkedIn, and get to know each other, because, like I said, a rising tide lifts all ships. And what we're going to be talking about today is all kinds of different tools. But first of all, we're going to talk about a little bit about myself, so you know who you're working with today. I've worked on lots and lots of brands, and I'm really, really lucky to have worked in coaching, marketing, branding, mentoring, and I've been really, really proud to work on this programme in North Northamptonshire. And we're going to be talking about tools today. And I love this quote. I love a quote, and I've gone with a Winston Churchill one. Give us the tools and we will finish the job. And I think to myself, what are the tools that we need to do better work, whether that be in a retail store or whether it be in a business? So a few things to think about today. Networking, like I've already discussed, get to know each other. Please share your details online and let people get to know who you are. Follow each other, support each other. And then we've got a list of tools. I want to do a bit of signposting. So one of the things that I get asked a lot is, where do I find this information, or how can I get more? So I've got some great links and connections to share with you all to help you in your businesses. And then finally, a little bit about grants. So I want to get into the first tool today to help you with your businesses. And this is a personal favourite of mine. Stop, start, continue. Now, anybody that's worked with me in the past will know that I often ask people, right, what can you stop doing, start doing, continue doing? And it is it's so simple. And I've got a couple of guides for this. I love this picture. This is from a really cool business in Corby, where they invited me to work behind the bar, where I lasted for about a minute. But stop, start, continue. It's great for a business. As a business, 3 things that you need to stop doing, 3 things you need to start doing, 3 things you need to continue doing. You, as the business owner, have a little think about it. Your teams, what are you doing well? What can you do better? And I think this is the stop, start, continue. I do this with my own business. I do this with my own coach. And I'm always thinking about, okay, how can I keep things simple? And what I love about this is it's a really, really simple tool. 3 things to stop doing, 3 things to start doing, and 3 things to continue doing. And what we'll do is we'll make sure that everybody has got a copy of this presentation so you can get the links. But I've actually put a link here. And I've created a guide that you can download, and there's a printout on there that you can fill this in or work with your teams. It's so simple, and the best things are always simple. And no, I didn't say yes to the dress. This was a wonderful retailer in Kettering called Bespoke Brides. And, you know, we talk to those guys about what they can start, stop, continue doing. They continue great customer service, they can start doing more social media, and they can stop worrying about social media. It's that simple. You can use this in your business in so many places. Now, the next idea we had for this was something called the Eisenhower matrix, which sounds like some kind of, I don't know, Neo's going to attack you, or something like that. But the Eisenhower matrix is actually a really fantastic way to help you with your to-do list. Now, I should have written mine yesterday, but I'm going to do it this afternoon, because otherwise I'm going to get my hands slapped. But what I love about a to-do list is, where do I start? And the Eisenhower matrix is fantastic. So it splits. So in your to-do list, and we all have them as individuals and as businesses, and they can get very, very overwhelming. And what I like about the Eisenhower matrix is he says, right, put them in context. Is it urgent and is it important? Well, if it is, then you need to do it. That's a task with a deadline. It's significant. It has consequences. If it's urgent but not important, well, you need to schedule it. This needs to get done, but it doesn't need to be done immediately. And this, what I like about this is you start thinking about those tasks and you start separating it into this. Now, if it's important but not urgent, then you can schedule it. These ones where there's no set deadline, but it's going to bring you closer to your long-term goals. You need to do this. And then my personal favourite, if it's not urgent and not important, should you really do it? Just delete it. And I love it. Do, schedule, delegate, delete. Really, really simple. The American military have been using this for years. Lots of businesses use this matrix. It's really simple. And next time you're doing your jobs list, this is to help you. And it is so simple, but it is really, really effective. One of the challenges I find working with small, medium-sized businesses is that there's often, well, we've got an objective. Okay, what's the objective? Well, we want to make lots of money. It's not really an objective. It's just, it's kind of nice. You want to be successful. But I think you can use SMART goals, and SMART goals are really, really simple when you break them down. And by the way, if you do SMART goals, you need to reward yourself, and what better way than with a pair of pink trainers? Now, for me, a SMART goal is very simple. It needs to be specific, clearly defined. It needs to, help you nail that objective. Measurable. If you can't measure it, it's really difficult to complete. So make your targets measurable. Achievable. If it's not achievable, you're never going to do it. So if my target is to be the next British person in space, it's not going to happen due to poor health and excellent choice in shoes. But your goals need to be achievable. Otherwise, what's the point? They also need to be relevant to your business. And I also think they need to be time bound. And for me, it is about setting objectives for yourself, for your business, for your team that are easy to measure. They are specific. And this is why I think SMART goals really help. And here's one I made earlier. Classic. So instead of saying, I want to grow sales to be of 10 million or something like that, I've just made it really, really simple. Increase online sales revenue for product X by 15% over 6 months by improving the website user experience and launching a targeted social media advertising campaign. That's a goal that is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. And you can set these for your teams, you can set these for yourselves, and you can set these for your business. And they are that simple to do. But remember, when you complete them, remember to celebrate them. And this was one from last month where I won Employee of the Month again, which is a huge accolade in my business. Remember to reward yourself for the victory. It takes a lot of work to do these, so go and enjoy them. And again, when you get the presentation, I put in here, you can write them yourselves. You can write them yourselves. And again, when you download the guides, they're there. but this is just to help you when you think about writing your own. And again, we'll send this over to you on completion of the presentation. So SMART goals, really, really good at helping you and your business focus on specific things. Now, one of my favorite exercises to do, I call it the hot air balloon. And the hot air balloon is, I'll show you a picture. It might be easier to do it this way. What lifts and depletes you at work? And I think it's a bit like a hot air balloon. Here's one I drew earlier. Always wanted to say that. So with the hot air balloon, think about the things at work that really, really lift you. So when I think about what I do, I really love helping people. I enjoy being around people. I was just talking to somebody earlier. It's so much fun in real life. I like getting out there. I like talking to people. I like renewing my skills, my coaching, my branding, and I really enjoy sort of the thinking and the strategy element of what I do. And then what depletes me, and I'm really hoping that my accountant's not listening to this because he'll shoot me. I hate doing the finance side of my business. It's not really my thing. And that kind of depletes me. Yes, I know I need to do it. And I'm good at numbers. I'm good at the financial business side of my business. I have to be. But there's also this little bit where I think to myself, right, well, that depletes me. So I'm going to pay my accountant each month to make sure that my bookkeeping's up to date, that my tax is filed, all of that stuff. And there's that little bit, and it goes back to the Eisenhower matrix. What can you delegate? Because my view is that what lifts you, you should be doing. And I call this your zone of genius. And for me, it's so much easier talking. And yes, I could do my books. It would take me all week, but then I wouldn't be able to do the bit I really love, which is helping people. So what are the things that by acknowledging what depletes me, I can then manage it? And I manage it in the sense of the Eisenhower matrix, or I outsource certain things. And I think about how can I make my work life easier? So I use this hot air balloon analogy. And this is a challenge to you. Please, when you get this presentation, like, feel free to print this out and just write around it the things that lift you and the things that deplete you, and then start thinking about, okay, how can I mitigate some of those things? And for me, I call it, how can I mitigate the bits that deplete me and supersize the bits that lift me? And I put a picture of me. One of the things that really lifts me is travel. And you can use this not just in a work sense, but in a life sense. Yes, I know we all have to do cleaning, which probably goes in the deplete part. But then I think to myself, okay, if I'm going to clean the house, how can I do something that lifts me afterwards? And I use that analogy because I do the same in work. What can I do to lift me in work? So it's just a little bit of a challenge to start thinking about, because I want you to be in your zone of genius. And for me, what's been really great about this program is going out and seeing people like, we'll go with the Wine Chateau in Wellingborough. They love serving wine to people. They love talking about wine. That's the bit that lifts them. The bit that really lifts them is the buzz of working with customers. So I always challenge them. How can you do more of that? And it's a challenge to all of you. How can you do more of what lifts you? And how can you be aware of the things that deplete you in a business sense? So it's a good challenge for you all. Content pillars. One of the most common topics we've had when people are doing social media is, what should I post? I don't know what to post. And I think what's really interesting is, hopefully in the chat, you're sharing each other's Instagrams and you're sharing each other's LinkedIns, and go and have a look and go and support each other. One of the things that I think about with my own business is, how can I put out content that is interesting to people, that is valuable? And one of the ways I explain content pillars to people, because people get confused, oh, what does that actually mean? And I'm going to share with you, and anybody that's worked with me, you'll know this, the Pink Cafe. This is Elan in London. If you, there's one in Soho, there's one in Selfridges, there's one in Knightsbridge, and there's one at St Pancras Station. And they're expanding, expanding, expanding. Now, I want you to ignore the beautiful photographs and don't be put off by the food. Oh I'm getting hungry now. Apologies. Now, the reason why I love this, I want to show you. You can see on the screen and what you've got in front of you, people, product, cafe. People, product, cafe. People, cafe, cafe. They've got these really defined content pillars, which makes it easy for the consumer to understand what it is they do. Now, where it becomes interesting is you don't have to keep the order like they do on the grid. And I put Elan on there because they are fantastic. Their pictures are beautiful. And they use the colour pink, which is my favourite colour. So I'm slightly biased. But what I really love about this is how simple it is. And when you're creating content, as a business owner, it can be quite overwhelming. So how can you make it simple? Content pillars, sharing stories. I've created a content pillar on here. And what I love about this, I've actually used mine. And I have 3 pillars: education, inspiration, and about us. So if you look at my social media, please do comment, like, buy the merch. Just kidding. What I like about it is it's really simple for me to create. So everything I do falls into one of these 3 pillars: education, inspiration, about us. And feel free to steal this idea if you like it. I don't mind. Or you can have restaurant, cafe, people. You can have whatever you want. You can have 4 content pillars if you want. I don't mind. What's important is that you actually have them. And I think it works because creating content is not an easy thing to do. There's always that pressure. How do I get content? How do I put it out? Or what should I post? But by having some structure, it makes it easier for you. And it makes it easier for your teams to create that content. If you think about some of the businesses that you all have, do these make sense for you? Or could you come up with your own? Not only does it make it simpler for you to create content, but let's think about the consumer. What do they need to learn about your business? One of the things that really frustrates me on social media, and I'm not going to rant, although I like to rant, is often when you're flicking on social media, people are looking at it going, scroll, scroll, scroll. Why aren't they stopping? Why aren't they stopping on my posts? And I was looking at somebody this morning on LinkedIn, and I was explaining to another client of mine, why don't people stop on it? Because every single post they do is an advert. Buy my course, buy this, buy this, buy this. We're not great at being sold to. Us Brits don't particularly like being sold to. But we do like stories. You see, when Facebook came around, it made storytelling fashionable again. So go tell stories. What's amazing about the businesses that I've found in North Northamptonshire is how many stories they all have. But if you don't share them, nobody will know. So there's a guy in my network who I really, really like, and he has a mantra of how can you be the show and not the commercial? How can you be the documentary, not the advert? If you take this approach into your social media with content pillars, you'll find that your life is a lot more interesting. You'll build up those interactions and you'll grow your social media. So for me, a really simple tool for social media is content pillars. Signposting. I wanted to show you a few websites that I think will be really, really, really helpful for your businesses. And one of the things that I find is, how can I get more information? How can I get more training? So I've got a list of websites here that I think might be useful for you. First of all, North Northamptonshire. Anybody in North Northamptonshire, there's a contact email address there for the council. They've been so supportive of this programme, and I highly recommend that if you need to talk to them, that's a great way of contacting them. This programme, NM Business, if you click on the website, we've got over half a dozen workshops where we've had some amazing speakers talking about photography, talking about a framework for your business, social media. There's been loads of different webinars. They're all recorded on this website. It's great. Go on it. There's loads of wonderful information. Part of being in Northamptonshire, Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire, there is an organisation called Wenter. and when to offer free training. Yes, free training on Google Business, on Instagram, on Facebook, on how to use Google, on how to build a brand. You don't have to do all of it. Just select the events that are useful for you. Sometimes we all need to learn a little bit more. And yes, I know I need a refresher on Instagram. There's only so much pink one site can have. Wenta is a brilliant source of information. It's also good for networking locally. Business grants. They come up and often people say, oh, I didn't know they were there. So there's a website here called Swoop Funding and Business Grants. And if you go onto the Swoop website, they do loans and all stuff like that. If you need that, go and talk to them. The reason I'm mentioning the grant side of it is Swoop's a bit like Compare the Market. If you go on it, put in what you're looking for. If there's grants available, they will come up. It's a really, really good place to look. And if you don't look, then you're going to miss out. And there are some brilliant opportunities coming up, especially towards February, March time. So keep an eye on Swoop and get signed up. It's free. Senlet, they do a number of projects to support businesses in the South East Midlands. But I also want to shout out this brilliant Instagram account for High Street, North Northamptonshire. This programme has been going out highlighting brilliant businesses all over the North Northamptonshire County. Please give them a follow. Please support their posts. And if you want to be featured on it, get in touch with them. They're always looking for great people to work with and to support. And I think the work that they've done has been fantastic. So a real shout out to them. If you're still within the first 2 years of setting your business up, the BIPC, which is the library service, they have set up an incredible program called Build Your Business, where you go on a number of workshops and they do all kinds of things from building a business plan to marketing. Again, this is free. So if you're in your first 2 years, please go and check it out. I know it has supported a number of businesses locally and the work that they've done has been well received. So go and check them out. I couldn't help it. I had to do a little plug for myself. I'm Richard Solutions. Go and have a look at my website. There's loads of stuff on branding and marketing, and there's a few guides that you can download as well on my social media accounts. Because I need to buy some more pink shoes. So no, in all seriousness, feel free to come on the website and have a look and learn a bit more about my business. So one of the things that I think is really great is there are some retail support grants. And this is for businesses on the high street in North Northamptonshire. And what can you use these grants for? Well, obviously, we all need better photographs. And, you know, unfortunately, I don't have a business, so I can't apply for it. But I was thinking about, okay, where can you spend this? Photography. We had an amazing photographer come and do a talk on this program called Welly Photography. If you missed that, please go onto the NM Business website and you can watch her webinar on how to do photography. You can spend the money on a website. You can spend the money on shop signage, training, new fixtures and fittings, decorating your business, or even on technology. For me, this is a great way of supporting your business. And what is brilliant about grants is when you apply for them and you get that money into your business, you don't pay it back. It is yours. So how do I apply for one of these grants? I thought you might ask that. So there are some rules. You need to be in North Northamptonshire only. And I put a link underneath the scary picture of me having a haircut in Kettering. There's a link there, click on it. That's got all the rules and regulations about the grant. You need to apply before Halloween. One of the bits of advice I would say to you is go and get some quotes. If you're going to apply for a grant, get some quotes, put them into your application. One of the things I would challenge you is how will the grant make a difference to your business? When you're applying for a grant, and maybe about 18, 19 months ago, I applied for a grant through Wenta, and I had to say, how will the grant make a difference to my business? I want you to really think about that on your applications. Just think about how will this make a difference to your business? When the people who are reading your applications, they're going to be looking at, have you followed the rules? Is it compliant? Have you got it in on time? But they're also going to be, how is this going to make a difference to you and the local community? And I think it's something to really consider when you're applying for it. Finally, if you are going to apply for a grant, it can't be on stock and wages. It needs to be something that will support your business. So please be realistic with your applications. And it's a super opportunity. The grants are £500. Please apply for them. They can make a real difference. But it'll only make a difference to your business if you apply for it. So we've covered quite a lot in half an hour. And I was wondering, are there any questions on any of the topics, any of the tools, whether it's about the grants? I'll help as best as I can. If not, I will defer the questions to our contacts at North Northamptonshire Council. But if there's any questions about any of the tools that we've discussed, please ask them. No?
None yet?
Okay, well then what I would say is, for everybody that's watched today online, thank you very much for joining us. I hope this presentation has been helpful for you. We will get a copy of the presentation to all of you. We'll also make sure that all the links that are in the presentation get sent to you as well. Good luck, enjoy it, and think about how can you use those tools to make your business life easier. Thank you very much. Back to you, Brian.
Thanks very much, Rich. That was brilliant, as usual. Much more natural on the camera than my good self. As you may be aware, this is one of the last of the events. I'm just getting a couple of, see if there's any other questions. Is there any other questions for online that I can put to Richard? Please put them through now. Is there any, so what we've got in here? Yeah, so although not a retail business, grant would be useful to set up on a high street office. That is a question you can put through to the link at the bottom of the presentation when it's sent out. Any sort of specific questions, please put to them, and then they will take it from there, and obviously put that in the application and they will assess it on its merit. Any others? No, I believe that's it. So unless there's any other questions, it will be time to say goodbye, and thank you for the people that are online. Like I said, this will be on the North Northamptonshire website for you to look back at a later date, should you wish. And without further ado, I'm going to stop recording.